Mario Kart at this point is without a doubt one of Nintendo's biggest franchises. It expands beyond gamers and is perfect in party and family situations alike. In addition to this, Nintendo have just released their new console, the Nintendo Switch 2, and Mario Kart World is the only new first-party title ready for its release. Because of this, Mario Kart World has two mountains to climb. First, is it a worthy title that lives up to its predecessors in this beloved franchise? And second, is it a good enough game to justify upgrading to the new console? This game does boast an open world to set itself apart and show off the new tech, but is that enough? What's up? How's it going, people? Welcome to Casual Gamer Reviews. If you enjoy this content, please consider leaving a like and subscribe, and if you don't like it, then leave a thumbs down and let me know how I can be better for you. I have currently put in 25 hours for Mario Kart World, but we all know that it's superfluous as you can really spend an endless amount of time playing it. Reviewed on Nintendo Switch 2. I'm sure many of you, if not all of you, have played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. It sold an eye-watering 70 million copies after all. Well, it will come as no surprise that Mario Kart World plays very similarly, as many believe that 8 perfected the formula. Nintendo obviously agree, but that doesn't mean there aren't any new additions. Firstly are the items, the quintessential part of any kart racer. World features 28 items, 6 of which are new. These new items are the gold shell and question block, which both exist to give you coins, the ice flower and hammer, which are both useful offensive items, dash food, which gives you a speed boost and also sometimes a new costume for your character, and then finally Kamek. Bowser's magical Koopa buddy can be used as an item which transforms all the other players into the same character and can cause obstacles related to that character. Some playable races are locked behind this flip of a coin transformation too, which is a bit strange. Did I like these new additions though? Well, that is actually a bit of a mixed answer. I thought the hammer and the ice flower were great additions and I do use them often. I also think the dash food is fantastic as it mixes the greatness of a speed boost with the possible euphoria of also unlocking a new outfit for your racer. As for the other three, I didn't really like them. Coin items are just boring regardless of their potential for a speed boost, and then Kamek is almost never useful. I've never been in a situation where Kamek has obstructed me from doing well in a race. That being said, 3 out of 3 isn't bad considering the quality of items that have existed in the series for generations already, except the blue shell of course. Fuck the blue shell. The next new thing World brings to the table is the number of competitors. Each race will feature 24 racers rather than the series previous of 12. I do feel like this has caused a challenge to greatly increase as it just results in absolute chaos. Doubling the amount of characters on the track means there are double the items being used, and trust me, you feel it instantly. If you find yourself somewhere in the middle of the pack, you just don't stand a chance. You will constantly get beat up from every direction. This is fun in a party setting, which most will use Mario Kart for, but if you are playing to get cups and stars, this game can definitely become frustrating. There are some new things introduced with movement too. In Mario Kart World, you can rail grind, jump without a ramp, and wall ride. I'm sure by now everyone has seen online some completely mental and mind-bending things people have been able to do with these mechanics, but honestly, for the average Joe like me, for a kart racer, they are almost always not necessary to use. Yes, it is fun to occasionally wall ride and rail slide, but without the exact precision and timing, it will always be more costly than beneficial. I do not play a kart racer to be pixel perfect. Getting hit with an item when in first and dropping down to 12th is stressful enough. I don't need more on my plate, but I'm happy it is there for people to play around with if they want to. The final important new features added to Mario Kart World are 2 new game modes. The first is Knockout Tour. To put this simply, I adore Knockout Tour. This is a mode which I feel really complements the increased player count. This is a race across 6 tracks where every checkpoint in the bottom 4 place are eliminated. For example, the first checkpoint takes you from 24 races to 20, then to 16, then to 12, and so on until only 4 remain to fight for the crown. I not only found this to be the most difficult mode, especially especially if playing online, but also the most addicting. You are not encouraged to just do well consistently and build up points, but you must come first after a grueling race that covers some serious distance across an extremely varied track set if you want the gold trophy. I hope that Knockout Tour is here to stay in future iterations of Mario Kart, but the only reason it even works at all is because of the second new game mode, Free Roam. Nintendo put World on a pedestal as being different for one significant reason: it has an open world. In Free Roam, you can, well, roam free across the vast open world of Mario Kart. Here is where you can find dash food to unlock new outfits for your characters, or P-switches for little challenges. These P-switches were pretty fun and could be racing challenges, skill challenges, or gliding challenges, and often would incorporate World's new mechanics of rail slide and wall slide. How many P-switches are there? That is a very good question, and I seem to see conflicting messages online. The reason this is such a grey area is because for some inexplicable reason, Nintendo gave us absolutely no way to track the number of switches we have completed. This is not only baffling game design, but also dampens any motivation I had to go out searching for them. Outside of the costumes and untrackable P-switch challenges, the open world sadly feels pretty empty. There are some collectibles that award you unexciting stickers, and that's about it. For a game that was being marketed as open world, this is a disappointment. Where the game benefits most from the open world is with the races, particularly Knockout Tour, which I just mentioned. These use the open world to connect tracks together, so you always feel like you are moving in one big connected world rather than a series of sectioned off areas. I know some people have said they prefer the classic design of a 3-track race, but I personally enjoyed the interconnectivity of it all. In terms of the other game modes, Grand Prix returns, although right now you can only go up to 150cc, but I do feel like the challenge remains simply because of the aforementioned chaos. For the Grand Prix, there are 8 cups, each with the traditional 4 tracks. This is the perfect mode for a kart racer in any setting, and it continues to feel fantastic in World. The tracks are a mix of returning ones, some with slight alterations, and also more than 15 new ones. Boo Cinema and DK Spaceport may be up there with some of my all-time favourite Mario Kart tracks, not to mention how this title may also contain the best iteration of Rainbow Road we have ever seen. Versus mode also returns, where you can customize your races, and the other returning game modes are Balloon Battle and Coin Runners in the battle section. I've always preferred these in a group setting rather than single player, as they feel pretty arcadey and casual, but you can of course play them in single player if you want. Lastly is time trials, for those who really want to up their game. If you want to see some insane racing, then put the Ghost on for the top of the leaderboards and just be gobsmacked by the wizardry on show. With the Switch 2, Nintendo finally has hardware that can reach a 4K output while docked. Visually, this does help Mario Kart reach that increased fidelity with its authentic, colourful art style. Even in 1080p while handheld, I think World looks fantastic. There are still blocky textures about, especially with some of the environments, but I thought the character models and menus were beautifully designed. Sometimes there is just nothing better than a super slick UI. Focusing on the character models though, I think this is hands down the best looking designs the series has ever seen. I also thought some of them had great costumes. Look how cool Bowser looks here with his supercharged outfit, which I fell in love with, or Luigi here with a backwards snapback and his mechanic outfit, which became my main racer. Unfortunately, there is a downside here, and that is with the roster. There is a very strange mix of franchise staples and random encounters. Do we really need Snowman, Dolphin, and Stingbee, for example? Especially when most of them don't even have unlockable costumes. There are so many wider Nintendo characters that could have taken the place here, but I imagine they are reserved for DLC, which is disappointing. Turning the dial back positive though, and that is the visual elegance of the tracks themselves. I mentioned before about Boo Cinema and Rainbow Road, both of which are sensational and really need to be experienced firsthand, as I just wouldn't be able to do them justice with a description. There are many other tracks too that really grab your attention, namely the new Peach Stadium and the journey to Airship Fortress are quite something to behold. And yes, I know you're all wondering this, but it does run at a solid 60 frames per second in both handheld and docked mode. The thing I love most about Mario Kart World World is not something I ever would have predicted, and that is the music. In a year where we got one of the best OSTs I have ever heard with Expedition 33, I did not expect it to be rivaled by Mario Kart of all games. Simply put, the soundtrack in World is amazing. It has well over 300 songs and includes many remixes of previous songs from the entire franchise and the overarching Mario universe as a whole. The main title themes give the vibe of a road trip with harmonicas and jazzy guitars, but getting deeper into it, there are endless remixes of old classics across all the Nintendo platforms. If you have been a Nintendo fan for a long time, you'll be absolutely stunned by how good some of the remix tracks sound, and it will flood you with nostalgia. However, if you are not, it doesn't matter, as the soundtrack is that good you don't need the nostalgia hit to enjoy it. There are some heroes putting in the work on YouTube right now to get the whole OST uploaded, so go check it out. Wii Plays is one I would recommend. Mario Kart World is a race back to form after almost a decade of 8 Deluxe. A kart racer where the formula was perfected, and this continues in World. The racing is fantastic, and the new edition of Knockout Tour is heavily welcomed by me as a game mode I hope becomes a staple moving forward. Then there's the soundtrack. Oh my god, the soundtrack is so incredible. However, World does have its downfalls. The chaotic nature of having 24 players is definitely fun in a party setting and works beautifully with the Knockout Tour mode, but can become a hindrance for competitive players. The current racing roster is quite thin and includes several boring characters, but most of all, the game's main difference from its predecessors with the open world is just disappointing. It does feel empty as it is right now, and sadly doesn't keep drawing you back in. Where the open world does excel is with making all the tracks feel interconnected. If you want a fun kart racing experience with amazing music, then World ticks all the boxes. However, don't expect much from the open world. Mario Kart World gets a casual gamer score of 8 out of 10. Let me know what you think of Mario Kart World in the comments below, and whether you think it justifies a Switch 2 purchase. For more reviews, discussions and spoiler casts, check out the channel. I have recently uploaded a review for Deltarune, as well as a look ahead for the best upcoming 2025 releases. If you enjoyed the video, then please leave a like and subscribe, or if you didn't like it, then please leave a thumbs down and I will try to do better next time. For everything casual gamer, keep it here. Peace and love.